That one's fine to me. So that'll be that. Welcome to a Fifth of Jack Gaming, where today we're opening up 3 packs of Crimson Vow. Man, that Vow got all messed up right there. Crimson Vow, or these are the set boosters, where they're going to only have 12 cards, an art card, a foil, and you know what else. These are a little bit, I feel like it's an upgrade compared to the draft boosters where you get 15, but I feel like you get better quality with the set boosters. With that said, let's dive in. All right, starting with the art card. Zoom. And that is Griffin Wing Cavalry by Steve Prescott. It's number 11 out of 81. Mountain. Something unique is, just like Midnight Hunt, this only has this kind of lance in there. Love that little art that comes with it sometimes. Persistent Specimen costs 1 black for a skeleton. That's a 1/1 body. Then it has an ability of pay 2 and a black. Return it from our graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Mind Leech Ghoul costs 1 and a black for a zombie. Has a 2/2 body. Then it has exploit. That means when this creature enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice a creature. Each opponent exiles a card from their hand. Doom Dissenter costs 1 and a black for a human. That's a 1/1 body. And when it dies, we get to create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Straight to the point. Oh, Diagraph Scavenger costs 3 a black for a zombie bear. That's a 2/3 body. Has Death Touch. And whenever it enters the battlefield, exile up to 1 target card from a graveyard. If it's a creature card, exile this way. Each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 3 life. First uncommon, Choreographer's Survey costs 3 a green or a sorcery. Look at the top 7 cards of your library. Put 2 lands cards from among them on the battlefield tapped, and put the rest at the bottom of your library in a random order. And then we have the Ancient Lumber. And then we have the Ancient Lumber. Then we have the Ancient Lumber Knot. Costs 2 a black and a green for a tree folk. Each creature you control with a toughness greater than its power assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. It's a 1/4 body. Ooh, that was a little bit wordy for me. And then we have the Spiked Ripsaw. Costs 2 and a green. It's an equipment. Equipped creature gets +3/+3. And whenever a equipped creature attacks, you may sacrifice a forest. If you do, that creature gains trample until end of turn. It costs 3 to equip it. Love the flavor that comes out of that. Costs 3, it gets +3/+3, which is amazing. Costs 3 to equip it, which is flavor-wise is amazing. Not so much gameplay-wise. But then you sacrifice a forest, and then you give trample? What? It sounds like you have a chainsaw going on. I mean, a ripsaw. Wedding Security costs 3 and 2 black. For a vampire soldier, that's a 4/4 body. Whenever it attacks, you may sacrifice a blood token. If you do, put a +1/+1 counter on it and draw a card. And then we have the Verdurkin Epicure. Costs 1 red for a vampire. When it enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. Create a blood token. So blood tokens is going to be this little fancy thing that you'll end up making an artifact. You could pay 1, sacrifice it, and discard a card, and then you'll be able to draw a card. It's a 1/1 body, like we ended up saying, or it's a 1/1 body. And then we have a rare being Dig It Up. Costs 1 green. It's a sorcery. Has cleave. So cleave means we could end up casting it for its cleave cost. Instead of having the brackets, it gets rid of the brackets if we end up paying the cleave cost. So the cleave cost of this one is 1, 2 black, and a green. So we get to search our library for a basic land card and reveal it and put it into our hands, then shuffle. But if we paid the cleave cost, we'll be able to search our library for a card, put it into our hand, and then shuffle. So, pay the cleave cost, you get to grab a card, so you get to tutor for a card, and then you don't have to show it. Oh man, we got a foil rare. Hullbreaker Horror. Costs 5 and 2 blue. It's a Kraken Horror. It's a 7/8 body. Has flash. That means you can play at any time. This spell can't be countered. Whenever you cast a spell, choose up to 1. Return a target spell that you don't control to its owner's hand, or return a target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Sounds pretty good. That might be in a future deck. And then we got the proxy card. This is something you can end up using for any of those flip cards. Well, normally I say pack 1's winning because it's the first pack. But pack 1 is coming out with some spice. So obviously it's winning because, like we said before, it's the first pack. But that spice, let's see if it lasts. Kraken pack 2. Art card. That art is of the card Saw Blade Slinger. It's by Joshua Raphael. It's number 54 out of 81. And then we have a Plains. An Honored Heirloom. Costs 3 for an artifact. Tap it, add 1 mana of any color. Pay 2, tap it, exile a target card from a graveyard. Some good old Bramble Armor. Costs 1 and a green for an equipment. When it enters the battlefield, attach it to a target creature you control. Equipped creature gets +2/+1. Equip cost costs 4. So really steep on the equip cost. Holy smokes. Apprentice Sharpshooter costs 2 and a green. It's a human archer, reach, and it has this little thing called training. So whenever a creature attacks with another creature with a greater power, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. It has a 1/4 body. So if we end up having a bigger creature, let's take the spicy card from the last pack as an example. So when these two attack, this is going to get the training counter because this has a higher power and toughness than what the other one does. Or has a greater power than what this one has. So this will get a +1/+1 counter. So this would be a 2/5 then. Liking it. Next card is Dawnhard Disciple. Costs 1 and a green for a human warlock. Has a 2/2 body. And whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, it gets +1, or Dawnhard Disciple gets a +1/+1 until end of turn. As you're seeing, some of the cards from Midnight Hunt is also in Crimson Vow. Seems a little bit cheating, but I guess we have to give them a pass since we don't get to make choice on the cards? Man, wouldn't that be a scary thought? If you got to make a card, what would you make? Let us know down in the comments down below. Various Stance costs us 1 and a white. For an instant, choose one. Target creature gains indestructible until the end of turn. So that means if it's dealt damage that would normally kill it, or destroy it, or anything that would cause destroy effects, it would say, nope, I'm indestructible. I'm not going anywhere. Or you destroy a target creature with a toughness of 4 or greater. That's an uncommon. Another uncommon that we have is Rending Flame. Costs us 2 and a red for an instant. Rending Flame deals 5 damage to a target creature or planeswalker. If that permanent is a spirit, Rending Flame deals 2 damage to that permanent's controller. A little extra burn if you're spirited. Wandering Mind costs us 1, a blue, and a red. Excuse me. It's a whore. Costs us 2, or has a power and toughness of a 2/1. Flying. And when it enters the battlefield, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal a non-creature, non-land spell from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest at the bottom of your library in a random order. For Binding Statue, costs us 3. For artifact creature that's a construct, has a 1/2 body. Tap, add 1 mana of any color. Put an omen counter onto it. At the beginning of your end step, if there are 3 or more omen counters on it, untap it and transform it. It becomes a Forsaken Thrasher. It's a construct that's a 5/5 body. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, add 1 mana of any color. Interesting. Then we have a Voldaren Epicure. It costs us 1 red for a 1/1 body. It's a vampire. When it enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. Create a blood token. And then our rare is a Welcoming Vampire. Costs us 2 and a white. For our vampire is a 2/3 body. Flying. Whenever 1 or more creature with a power of 2 or less enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. This ability only triggers once each turn. Oh man, why do they got to start it down with that only once per turn? Dang it. Still pretty nice to draw cards though. Then our foil card is a Blood Hypnotist. Costs us 2 and a red. It's a vampire that's a 3/3 body, and it can't block. Whenever you sacrifice 1 or more blood tokens, target creature can't block this turn. This ability triggers only once each turn. Another one that gets caught with that. Whiskers. And then they have a mini game called Strictly Better. I guess we'll have to be the judge of that at some point. Pack 2 had a nice little thing, but definitely Pack 1 is still being super spiced. I don't know what the heck it was up with that. Welcoming Vampire is a very nice deck, or a very nice card for any deck, though, that has some little guys that comes over there. Pack 3 is all cracked and open, so there is the art card. That card is Falkenrath Celebrants by Anne Stembauer, number 43 out of 81. We got a good old Plains. Gifts of Fang. Costs us a black. It's an enchantment. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 as long as it's a vampire. Otherwise, it gets a -2/-2. Could be removal in a pinch. Grizzly Ritual. Costs us 5 and a black. Holy smokes, that's expensive. It's a sorcery. Destroy a target creature or planeswalker. Create 2 blood tokens. Woof. Pointed discussion. Costs 2 and a black. It's a sorcery. You draw 2 cards, lose 2 life, and then create 2 blood tokens. Wow. That's an awful lot of 2 there. Good old Vampire Kiss. Costs 1 and a black. It's a sorcery. Target player loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Create 2 blood tokens. Going back on the 2 train, huh? First uncommon is Runebound Wolf. Costs 1 and a red for a wolf. That's a 2/2 body. Pay 3 and a red. Tap it. And Runebound Wolf deals damage equal to the number of wolves and werewolves that you can... Okay, here we go. Pay 3, a red, tap it. Runebound Wolf deals damage equal to the number of wolves and werewolves that you control to a targeted opponent. Trying to burn down the player. Alright. Talking about a little wolf, we got a little cute little guy. We got a Paxson Pup. Costs 1 green and 1. A little wolf that's a 1/1. At the beginning of combat, on your turn, if you control another wolf or werewolf, put a +1/+1 counter on him. When it dies, you gain life equal to its power. Holy smokes. And then we have a Binding Geist that costs 2 and a blue. It's a spirit. Whenever Binding Geist attacks, target creature the opponent controls gets -2/-2 until, or gets -2/-0 until end of turn. It's a 3/1 body, but has a disturb cost. It means we get to play it from our graveyard for the cost of 1 blue and 1. If we do, we transform it over to Spectral Binding. Enchanted creature gets -2/-0. And if this will be put into graveyard, it's exiled instead. Unholy Officiant costs 1 white for a Vampire Cleric. It's a 1/2 body. Vigilance, pay 4 and a white and put a +1/+1 counter on him. Pretty simple, straight to the point. Bloodpile Suppliant costs 1 and a red. For a vampire, it's a 2/1 body. And it has first strike as long as it's attacking. And when it dies, we get to create a blood token. And then our rare is Anja, Maid of the Dishonor. Costs 2, a black, and a red. It's a vampire, it's a legendary. So you know what that means? That could be your commander. It's a 4/5 body. And whenever it or another vampire enters the battlefield under your control, create a blood token. This triggers only once each turn. Man, we keep on getting limited by that. Pay 2, sacrifice another creature or a blood token. Each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. That's pretty sound though. And a foily Unholy Officiant. Or Officiant. And the final card is the Arena Advertisement. Want, want, want. So I have to say, pack 1 was the best pack out of all of them. Having that foily Hullbreaker, or Hullbreacher horror, sounds pretty neat for a deck that might be coming down the pipeline. Just saying. What did you think? Let us know down in the comments down below. Also, if you're liking the content that we're putting out, like, subscribe, and hit that little bell icon to be notified about any of our future content. Thank you for watching, and until next time, we'll see you later.